I've ever seen in my life. It was awful, honestly. It just wasn't me. I do like bits of opera, but I like the manage and figure out what, you know, the popular bits. That one, Il Trovatore, bored me to smithereens. We had a nice meal after, and it was really a fun night. We celebrated Freddie's life. Peter arranged all that, and I thought it was quite nice of him to ask me to go. Liverpool, Brian played on the Back to the Light tour, and that's a picture of him at the Royal Court Theatre. I got a t-shirt done. Yes, you can tell what it is. Who did he do? Brian loved it. I had to get one done for Brian. He thought it was great, so pictures taken with him. Me being silly. Another fan club we did a Shepherd's Bush at Christmas, and Brian come dressed on as T. Conway. This was before he did the Another World, so well before the Another World tour. And he dressed up and he asked me to take some pictures. And he went, I want to use one on a single cover I'm doing. You want me to take it? Just really take the pictures. So I took 6. And I don't know, it was a free single, I don't know if you've got it, that was given in America. Unfortunately, it was only Hollywood Records. But it was like Make Believe and, you know, all cover tracks, 4 tracks on it. And he used one of my pictures on the cover. And he sent me like the proof signed and everything when it was done, thanking me. That was fun. He took it dead serious, but there's good photos. One of Fred's mum and dad, sadly, as you know, his dad's gone now. We had the launch of the Freddie photograph exhibition at the Royal Albert Hall in London. I went along, it was a nice evening. Kashmir was there, and his mum and dad. They were really lovely. His dad was quite frail, as you can see, but it was the only time I ever met his dad. So I'm glad I got that photo of him. One of Roger, solo one from Liverpool. And that's one me taken with him after the show. It was a Saturday night. And that's when he was leaving. I don't know if any of you got over to London to see the exhibition last year. It was quite something. I was involved in a lot of pre-work for it. All the suggestions I gave them, they didn't use one. I think they lost out. I'm sticking to it. But it was a fantastic exhibition. If you move to the next one. When I got there, the night they had a big party on the opening night. Do you want to move to the next photograph? And Brian and Roger were being interviewed. There was World TV and everything there. And Brian saw me standing there, and he came over to me and he went, do you know, Jim, this is part of your life as well as ours. You belong here as much as we do. And I thought, God, you're right. You don't realise, more than half my life I've been around them. I have a great relationship with Brian. We're quite close, we speak, we go on the set. He's very serious, and I'm not really a serious person. When you're with Brian, you have to be serious. It was very special, and then quite funny, later on in the evening at the party, if you move to the next one, I was talking to Roger, and Roger actually said to me, do you know what? This is part of your life as well as ours. I said, Brian said that to me this afternoon. So quite funny that both of them think, you know, yeah, I am part of Queen's history, I'm with them. In Liverpool, they did a wall with all names of artists that played at the Cavern. And I saw a list of all the names, and they missed out Queen. So I got in touch with the people that were doing it and said, excuse me, why haven't you got Queen? Queen never played at the Cavern. I said, they did. I said, I'm telling you that they did. I said, do you want me to get Freddie Mercury to get in touch with you and tell you that he played at the Cavern with Queen? Anyway, the band did get in touch with them for me, and we got it there. So I got the brick with Queen on. In Liverpool, I take people to this building. It's an insurance building by the town hall. And on the top, if you look, you can see the royal crest and Queen underneath. I always meant to ask Fred, did he see that when he lived in Liverpool? Did the image of the crest and Queen stay in his mind? I never got to ask him. I used to say, next time I see him, I'll ask him. But next time, you forget. And next time, I never got to ask him. Someone wrote to Brian last year and said they had confirmation that Freddie did choose the name Queen in Liverpool. And Brian denied it. He said he doesn't know. I've taken him there, and Roger, and they said they just don't know. He just came out with, when they were picking names for the band, I want the band called Queen. I don't know, there's just something, if you're ever in Liverpool, go and see that. And Freddie, I spoke to Freddie quite a bit about Liverpool, and he said when he was walking around the city, he used to look up. And that's what you've got to do in Liverpool. If you walk down Liverpool's main street, shopping street, don't look at the shops. Look up and look at the top. So he said to me, he used to look up. So I wonder, did he look up and see that? And in his mind, he kept the picture of it there. I went to Feltham a couple of weeks ago to see the star. You know, they put a star in the floor for Fred. A couple of years ago. It's not there anymore. It's gone.
Yes, it's gone.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they've taken it away. And I'm like, where's the star? And then he said, oh, I spoke to some security guard. He said, oh, it faded. Yeah. So he said, oh, there's a plaque across the road. And I went over. I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest. Yeah, awful. I thought the same. I think it's a bit of an insult to Freddie to take that star up or whatever and do that. So I'm glad someone thinks like me. I'm glad you think it's, yeah, it is awful. But again, if you go to Feltham, you can go and see Fred's house, Brian's house, and that. But there's something lacking. There should be a statue of him or something, I don't know. But it's there in Feltham. That was at the We Will Rock You party a couple of months ago. With Roger, he came over and we were chatting. He's a great guy. Roger has a great memory. I've never seen anyone as sharp as a memory. He comes out with things. He makes out he can't remember. If he's getting bored in an interview, he'll just say he doesn't know. But if you can get him on a good time and take him back to 1963, he'll tell you all about the gigs with reaction. And his memory is amazing. I like Roger. Again, I've got a good relationship with him. That was at the Hammersmith gig 2 weeks ago. I went down to see Adam Lambert. A lot of people were surprised I went. I wasn't going, but I decided to, and I thought it was great. Much better than Paul Rodgers. And the good thing with the night, the lighting rig, the best lighting rig I've ever seen. And I've never seen Brian play as good. I don't know what the gig he did in Poland, what he was like. I've not seen any clips. But I've never seen him play as good as he did that night. And I told him. And I said, I'm not bullshitting you, Brian. I really think that's the best of it. He went, I wouldn't expect you to say anything else to me. I said, well, if he were bad, I'd probably tell him he was bad. But he wasn't. He was brilliant. And I didn't speak to Roger. I didn't see Roger that night, which was good really, because I was going to tell him he didn't play as well. I think, what's his name? His son, Rufus.
Rufus,
yeah. Yeah, Rufus, I felt played better than his dad.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you agree. I felt Roger, he's still good, but I think he's lost a little bit of power. I know he's 63, I said before, but he can still do it. He can still do it. But that night, I thought Brian was incredible. The crest, that crest, it's my favourite bit. People go on about art, you know, I like Dali and I like whatever, and all Leonardo da Vinci. My favourite artwork is Freddie Mercury and the crest. Very simple. I know it's the royal crest, you know, it's not, we saw it on top of the building, but it's the meaning behind it, how he did it. The man was so clever. And the image he had for this new band, and the Phoenix, you know, which was Smile and Wreckage and Sour Milk Sea, coming out of those bands, and the Phoenix was rising to the new band with Queen. I really enjoyed those pictures. I just thought I'd bring them along and then talk about some of the things that's happened to me. I get asked quite a lot, why you? A journalist get in touch with me. Why did Freddie speak to you? He would never speak to me. I can't answer that. You'd have to ask Fred, and we can't. Brian spoke to me once about it and said that Freddie respected me. I did have a great relationship with Freddie. I spent a lot of time talking to him. As I say, we used to talk about so many things. We used to just chat like mates. I think because I've been around from the beginning, they got to know me quite well. And when Queen Productions was formed, and they wanted to do a fan club biography, and Brian said to Therese, well, we've got a fan in Liverpool that's been with us from the beginning, get in touch with him. And so she started contacting all the people in Liverpool in the fan club, and found, actually got to me and realised it was me. So Brian said, could I come down to London to see him, to talk to him? And it was from there really, and that was in 1976. And then in 77, I was starting to collect all this information, and I kept all this information down. And when I was reading books on Queen and articles, there was nothing mentioned about what I had. I used to go and see rock bands in Liverpool and found out that Freddie was in a band from Liverpool, which I'd never read about. And I did my homework, spoke to Freddie, and then when I thought, I really should be doing something with all this information. I'm not a collector. I was telling Tom before, I do not collect. I've had so many things given to me and I give them away. I'm not a collector. I collect information. I've just found out about a couple of gigs that Queen played in 70, 71, 73. Now that excites me. An item wouldn't excite me. I don't collect things, but I collect information. And in 1986, I went to the Queen office to get my passes for the tour. And Julie, the secretary, Julie Glover, said, oh, this book's been written on Queen, take it away with you, read it and let us know what you think. Well, it was rubbish. Some guy at AMI wrote it, and I thought, that is rubbish. I know more than that. So when I took it back, and I said to Julie, I'm sorry, if you want the truth, that's crap, that is just... She went, well, we think so too. She said, if anyone should write a book on Queen, it should be you. The alarm bells went. And then 6 months I got a presentation together. I thought, this isn't going to be easy, because Queen is not the easiest of people to let you work with. But I presented it really, really well. The information, I took it down, and when Freddie saw all the bits that I knew about Ibex and how did you get this information? I said, well, met people and go for it. You can do it. You can go and spend time with our parents and come and spend time with us. If you need us, we're here for you. So the 4 years that we worked on As It Began, I did spend a lot of time with John, went to houses, sat with them, got it all on tape. Those tapes, if I know I'm dying, I will destroy them. I don't want anyone to hear them. I'd like them to put in the coffin with me, so when I'm cremated, you go. Because obviously there's so much on, when you're talking to them, and they built, I know they trusted me. They started saying things that couldn't go in print. And they were telling me things about their lives, which is just, you think about it, I've got it all. I could write a book of all that, but I wouldn't do it because I would never destroy the relationship that I've got with them. So As It Began, we decided to make it just on music, on the history of the band, and we didn't want all the sordid love affairs and things. Quite funny really, Freddie, I was talking last night, or maybe last week to someone as well, Freddie never came out as gay. He didn't actually say he was gay. I remember when we gave him As It Began to read, we had bits in about Dominique and Chrissy and Veronica, and he said, I'd like Jim mentioned. I'm like, wow, this is unbelievable. I'd like you to mention when I met him, and he's my gardener, and we'll leave it at that. And I thought, is he actually admitting that he's gay? We all knew, and we knew Jim was his partner, but he actually said to me, I want you to put Jim in the book, because I left it out because I didn't want to touch this, you know, didn't want to insult him.